Okay, so I've got this image. Let's just say this is your final image. You've got your 3 photographs or portraits, whatever. You're all set and you're ready to hand it in. One of the important things to understand about InDesign is that it actually is a program that, unlike, let me put it this way. When you use Microsoft Word, how many of you have ever pasted an image or inserted an image into Microsoft Word? Okay, almost everybody here, right? One of the things that happens is, let's say you download an image off the internet, and you put it on your desktop, and then you put that into a Word document for a report or something like that. If you then delete the image off the desktop, it stays in Word, and it's fine, and you can still print it and everything like that. With InDesign, that's not the case. With InDesign, it links itself to the original photograph. So you need both files. You have to have the original photograph and you have to have the InDesign file. So what you can't do, you cannot just take your InDesign file that you've designed and just drop that in the Project Hand-In folder. And there's another problem is fonts. And you guys haven't used text in this, but one of the other things is if you're using InDesign to package anything together or to put anything together, you will have probably used text, as we're going to start doing later on next quarter. You're going to start using this to also put text with your photographs. Well, what if the person you're sending this to doesn't have the font? What if they don't, then things don't look right, right? You chose a specific way that those letters look, and now it doesn't look the same on their computer because they don't have the same font. So what InDesign allows you to do is allows you to do something called packaging. And by packaging, you're going to take all the images that you use in the file, you're going to take the fonts, you're going to take basically everything, and it's going to resave it into a new location. It's really simple, and it's very cool and very easy to do. So what we're going to do is all you basically have to do is well, I haven't saved this yet, so let me just save this right here on my desktop. We'll just call this demo, portrait demo. Okay, so once that's saved and you got it all perfect and exactly the way you want it to be, you're going to go to File, and you're just going to go to Package. And what it's going to do is it's going to lead you through a series of steps that are pretty simple and easy to understand, but it's important. The first thing you want to do here is take a look at this middle paragraph. It says Links and Images, and there's going to be a little exclamation point next to it. This is really important to review this. It's extraordinarily important to review this. Why? Because it's going to tell you if you're missing any photographs. Here's the big problem. If you go through and say delete, or even just move one of your images, if you just do that, when it packages the file, it's not going to know where that image is. And when I go to open up your project after you've handed it in, guess what I'm going to see? Nothing. Now, it doesn't always tell you, or, well, let me put it this way. It's not always easy to see that that's the problem, because InDesign saves a preview or a thumbnail of your photograph attached to the file, and so you may not see that your image is missing. But right here, it will say links and images. 3 links found, hence 3 images, okay? 0 modified, 0 missing. That means that I haven't changed any of my images. I haven't modified them since I started. The other thing you can always do is if you go to the Advanced tab, which is where I want you to be on, okay? You go over here to Links, you can click this. It'll show you all the different images you have in this document, and if there are any problems with those images, whether they need to be updated or if they're missing or anything, you will see a little caution sign with an exclamation point right next to it, and you can right-click on that object, on that image, and you can update it. You can edit the original, relink it, whatever you need to do, and I can help you do that as well. But if you move those images, all of a sudden, basically, with your file, it just goes a little nuts because it doesn't know where anything is. So everything looks good. I've got all the links. Let's go back to File and Package here. So I look here. It says 3 links found, 0 modified, 0 missing, so I know everything's good. So now, basically, I'm just going to hit the Package button. I would appreciate it if you were just to put your name in the Contact folder, okay? Or in the contact designation here. It just helps me in case things get a little messed up. So you're just going to put your name there. and then the file name, you don't need to change that. And it's going to include this little text file in the package. So then I'm going to click Continue. And now it's going to ask me where I want to put it. So this is where you're going to go to you're going to go down to Pen Media FS. You're going to go to the Media Shared folder. Okay, you can always make this a little bigger. You're going to go to Project Hand-In. Okay, right here. And then we've got our Period 3 photo class, and then you find your folder and you can drop it in here. So these are Zara's photographs, so I'm just going to put this in here and I'll delete it later. And then you're going to, I want you to name it Portrait, right here, Portrait folder, whatever, so that it's obvious, or Project 3, because this is our third project, you could name it Project 3. So let's just do that. I'm going to just call it Project 3. Then down here, copy fonts, yes. Copy linked graphics, yes. If you have that is unchecked, then obviously, as it may sound like it, what's it gonna do? It's not gonna put your pictures in, exactly. If you don't have this. So what's cool is it's actually gonna create a copy of the Photoshop files that you have and place them in here. Update graphic links in package. What that means is if any of your graphics have changed, if you modified like the brightness or the contrast, and you didn't update them here, they'll update as they copy over, which is kind of nice as well. All the others you don't have to. Now these three should be checked by default, so you shouldn't have to worry about them, but it's always good just to glance down here and make sure. You don't need to hit anything else. You literally just click the save. So it's really like a couple-step process. Then it's going to give you this thing about copyrights and fonts and so on and so forth, that if you don't have the rights to use the fonts, you shouldn't be copying them, yada, yada, yada. It doesn't really matter for you guys, your students. The fonts that are on these systems we've paid for. Okay, they came with Adobe and they came with all the other stuff, so you have the license to use them. You really don't need to worry about that. You can even check the Don't Show Again box and click OK. Now it's going to take a little bit. It may take a minute or two to package everything together. But once it does that, then what I want you to do is I want you to close this. Then I want you to go into the Project Hand-In folder, Pen Media FS, okay, which is the server. You're going to go to Media Shared. Then you're going to, or you can find the Media Shared server right here on the desktop. See that? Okay. Then you're going to go to Project Hand-In, Weiss Road. And you're going to go to Period 3 photo. Find your folder, and you can see now InDesign has created a new folder inside there that says Project 3. I'm going to go in there, and you'll see there's a new InDesign file. There's the instructions.txt, which is the file which just gives me your name, okay? Just in case it goes into the wrong folder or whatever, that's always good. And then under the links folder here, you'll see 3 Photoshop files that are your pictures. And then I want you to open up the InDesign file again. If something is wrong, it will tell you from here. If it all looks good and everything came out perfectly, then that's great. You close it and you're done. And you have now handed in your project. Okay, and you're just going to leave it like that. Any questions? Okay, I will be around to help you do this as we go.